yourself from wearing a mask. And so I don't know. I mean, maybe Dr. Fauci, I mean, he even said in February of 2020 that masks are only effective for droplets, which would seem consistent with the studies that I've seen, that in a surgical setting, a droplet's going into a person, that seems pretty reasonable to me. But as far as transmitting a virus, I haven't seen the studies, and I know he changed his position on that, but again, I don't have the study for that. And so if you guys are doctors, if you have actual studies, I even heard the head of St. Charles say, these are recommendations, so I'd appreciate the studies. In addition, OSHA experts who are court-approved subject matter experts totally deny that masks would work. In fact, in military applications, they said masks can actually spread more virus because you touch yourself. And so I wonder, with young children, what's the benefit to young children wearing masks? We certainly know they're going to be touching themselves, and will that really stop the transmission? So
Here's your 5.
The only thing I wanted to ask is, I'm happy to submit these studies and then get studies. Is there an email or something?
You can send it to school-board@bend.k12.or.us.
I might follow up with somebody.
Or you can ask for a shorter one. We'll get you a shorter one.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. That was Bill or Justin? Bill. All right then, Justin. Hey. And then Charla Hansen is next.
Hi, I'm Justin Richards. I have an 8-year-old son who goes to Pine Ridge. Thank you so much for spending some time and letting us come out here and voice our opinions and dealing with the diverse number of opinions that we have. And I wanted to say to you specifically, I'm so sorry to hear about your daughter and your family. I hope that doesn't happen ever again. I think that it's incredibly important that we teach our children anti-racism, and anti-racism is not anti-white. It doesn't put anyone down, it puts us together. So anyone trying to say differently is wrong. If anyone thinks that there isn't racism nearby or in this town, I'd like to tell you a story about my wife, who is a brown woman, going to Walmart in this very town and being told that she needed to go back to where she came from, and that it was her fault that someone had to wear a mask, even though she was born here in the United States and is a full-fledged American. If we're debating about telling the truth to our kids, then we're not, if we don't teach truth, we're teaching lies. And that's not okay. I'm not okay with lying to my son. And as far as the masks go, anyone who wants to say that it's a personal choice, your personal choice affects my health and my son's health. If he can get sick from you not wearing a mask, or your child not wearing a mask because you don't care, then it's affecting somebody else, and therefore it's not a personal choice. It's a public decision.
15. You can look at me when you say that.
No, it's not you that I think needs to hear it the most. That's really all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Justin. Charla. I didn't see a lot of movement when I asked for Charla. Okay, so we are going to go to 31, and then I want to do like a 30-second grab water if you guys need water, and then we'll sit back down. Okay, so Scott, Charla, and then Scott. But before Scott, wait a minute. Charla's not here. Scott, and then we'll take 30 quick seconds to get a drink, and then come sit down, and we'll go to Carrie. So that Carrie is number 32. How are you?
All right.
You took like the outside lane.
I did.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Scott Freshwaters. I'm a 1973 grad at Bend High. And I'd like to read this excerpt from this article. It comes out of the Epoch Times, June 30th, by Joshua Charles. And this is about an incident that took place in Charleston, South Carolina, in April 1865, right after Confederate General Robert E. Lee had just surrendered. The racetrack was called the Washington Race Course and Jockey Club. During the war, the Confederacy had used it to imprison Union captives. Nearly 300 of them died of diseases, and exposure in the open-air prison. None of them received a proper burial. Instead, their bodies were thrown in a nearby mass grave. Once the war had ended, however, some people, former slaves, found this to be totally unacceptable. Many of them went to the racetrack, exhumed the bodies, and gave them a proper burial in a new cemetery at the same site. They put a whitewashed fence around the cemetery and inscribed the words, "Martyrs of the Racecourse," on it. These former slaves knew that these men had died for their liberation, and they honored their sacrifices just miles away from the very spot where the Civil War had begun. As reported in the New York Tribune and the Charleston Courier just a week later on May 1st, 1865, more people came, about 10,000 of them. Almost all of them were African Americans, mostly freed slaves, while some were white missionaries. 3,000 black children brought bouquets of flowers to honor those who had died, singing John Brown's Body, a popular Union War song about the famous abolitionist John Brown, who, by the way, was white while doing so. Black ministers were present and recited portions of scripture. Veterans of various black regiments that served during the war were also present and performed double-time marches in honor of their fallen comrades. Stories like this have to be told that teach gratefulness, thankfulness, honor, and respect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna do 1 2-minute timer actually. So run, quick, stretch. Also, we should applaud this. Oh, there's 2 young people that are sitting still this whole time. Way to go. All right. How are you? Do you need water? Yeah.